I
All
always
right.
love how it says. I always love how it says scheduled in the like left hand corner. I feel all important. I'm like, yeah, we're scheduled.
Schedule. Oh, there's a schedule? Oh, I missed all that.
Well, everybody, welcome to Getting Cozy with Adrienne and Jan. You know the deal. We spend the first few minutes BSing about everything and anything, and then we get down to the heart of the matter. Adrienne's out sharing to the world. Big reminder: retrograde tomorrow. It starts. It's already started. I feel it. I smell it,
It's
and I'm
making
trying not
people
to let.
nasty.
Oh yes. I don't know. People have just all of a sudden flipped a switch. I think as an energy worker, or and somebody who's affected by energy, I guess you feel the shift. Sometimes it's enough to make you sick,
Yeah.
put you in a funk. Even with all my prepping I did, but
Makes people
I don't have that lingering over me. Although we still have yet to get the results, which is eating at me. It's probably making me more anxious than anything. So, okay, you want to talk about the Roadrunner?
Yeah.
Or do
Why
you want
don't
to
you
talk
talk
about
about
your
that
ego?
Roadrunner?
You want to talk about your ego first, or do you want me
Uh,
to?
yeah, that Roadrunner came first. Let's discuss him.
What in the world? I am a native New Mexican. I love the Roadrunner. Oh, they're so smart. They are beyond smart. They never corner themselves. Never. Unless they do it on purpose. And this thing, I tell you what, he has been toying with me for months. Months. Outside, hopping around to the front door, back, watching me while I sit out there in the mornings and have my coffee, getting closer, running his dance along the fence, sun tanning in the morning, his beautiful, feathers, warming up his, engines for the day. Yeah, it just running around the front yard, teasing my dogs. He plays with my dogs. And he's not little, he's big, so he's old. He's smart. Had a wonderful visit with a wonderful lady who means the world to me. That'll be talked about on another show. Absolute blessing in my life. And I was really sitting down asking for answers. I had just had some stuff happen, and I was like, okay, I need to clarify. Adrienne, I tell you what, I seriously, I'm like, you know what? If this is you, or if I'm on the right path, give me a sign.
Hmm.
I tell you what, that roadrunner came running through that house, backed himself right up into my bathroom. I looked at my daughter and I'm like, what in the world? And I didn't get up right away. Because, like, now it's probably just something in the bathroom. I saw something out of the corner of my eye. There's a mirror down the hallway. There's no way. No way. And then I heard the darn thing. And I went, no, no. And Abby's sitting right next to me. She goes, what was that, Mom? I don't know. I'm going to go look. You stay right here. Now, here I'm thinking some, crazy different wild animals run into my house. Do I have a wild bunny? Do I have a huge tarantula that would be making a noise? Something stupid. I know it's not a snake, so we're good. Never in my life did I expect around my corner and see a damn roadrunner. A roadrunner. And he's sitting up on my railing. Adrian, he's doing this little dance and he's showing off and everything else. And I'm like, no way. No way in hell. Nobody is ever going to believe me that a roadrunner backed itself up in my house in a corner. So I went to go get the phone, and as I'm going to go get the phone, this thing jumps on my head and looks me straight in the eye, and like does a like no his a roadrunner's noise. I'm not going to mimic one, Last week I did a walrus. I refused to do a roadrunner this week. So he hops back up on top and he runs. And I said, okay, that's it. I'm going to go get my camera. And I go and I get my camera. And this thing does it to me again as I come in to my bathroom with my camera on. And you can see me move away because when he jumps in my hair, I literally, move back. He starts hopping along my railing on my bathroom. And I went, no, I'm trying to call you. I'm trying to call somebody. Like, what in the world am I going to do? Not one person answered the phone. I have this wild runner in my house, and I have no clue what to do with it. What would you do in that?
What are you going to tell you to do? Find a net. Oh, no.
They run 18 miles per hour. Do you know how fast that is? Adrienne, I can't move one.
The bathroom door, grab that net. There's not that far it can go. Grab that nasty thing.
I would have heard it. No. So this thing, I think, runs out of my house. And I'm like, okay, it's out.
No.
Nope. Go back to start doing my research. And the next thing I know, I hear the Roadrunner. And I'm thinking, what is he doing knocking on my window? No, he's inside. He's running along my windowsill. And, it wasn't until I got really close to him that, he wanted to get out. But, when I backed off of him, he was like, whatever. So I get him down and I get him around. And you can see this in my live. I get him around the table. And I'm thinking he's walking out the door. The dude looks at the door. Walks right by the front door. And he's just like, whatever. I'm going to just go check it out. Like he was renting the place. Like he was going to buy it. I swear he tested out my furniture. He took a nap on my bed. This was a 2-hour ordeal. It was insane. So this thing takes a nap on my freaking bed. Finally people are starting to call me and I'm like, yeah, this is really going on, guys. I finally get a hold of you and you're like, whatever. Adrienne, seriously. But he still comes around. He comes up to the front door every morning. He looks in, or he lays out and he's sunbathing. So I'll give him some mealworms and I'll make him my best friend and give him a mouse. Roadrunner, they're amazing animals. They'll stay loyal. They mate for life.
Hopefully with another bird. Not you.
Well, I've had stranger things happen, so. Yeah, it's just one of those things. But it's a sign. I mean, they're full of wisdom. It's telling me that I'm on the right path. I'm on the way I need to go. Between the owls, I had a raven the other day, which was insane. That thing was huge. Oh, man. And then the eagle. I had the eagle yesterday. Do its little dance and then take off. Or today. So you need to tell your story now.
I don't know that mine was that. I don't know. Thank you.
I haven't even switched over my.
Announce that though. Thanks. So we're down there fishing, and his mom. It was like up at the picnic tables and stuff. So he's going back and forth, trying to make sure she's all right. There's this eagle. He says, oh, look, there's an eagle flying around. I'm like, is that really an eagle? I've never seen one that close except in a zoo. And he's like, yeah, that's an eagle. Okay. So I keep going. I'm going to go check on Mom. Okay. He's going up the thing. He gets to the top and I'm like, what? Look. This sucker's like 2 feet from my face and up in the tree because I caught a trout. And it wants that trout. Because this trout's dying because it swallowed the hook. So I'm like, no, I will fight this thing for my trout. He's like, will you really? Really? Heck yeah, I know how to wring a chicken's neck. Don't think I won't take those talons in my arm. I will wring his neck.
Right. Give me the fish. Let go of it. let go of it as it's on its back. I can just see you. Just give me the fish. Good boy. Good boy.
Yeah. But it circled like I don't know how many times, just constantly circled all around the lake there, circled, and then it landed in the tree across from us. We're all got our video camera out. Look, it's taking a nap. It's done. It's not going to do anything else. His mom tried with the pictures. No. I tried zooming in, and I don't know what happened. I thought I zoomed in enough on all the trees. No, I didn't even get it because I couldn't see it in the camera.
You're probably like 6 miles off. You probably
about a mile
tree, you know.
But I had it zoomed in there. Like shit. Never even got it.
Oh yeah. You know, I was telling you they used to do that off the Mississippi. You know, they just come in and they'd snag your fish and they'd look at you like, "What are you gonna do about it?" Eagles are amazing, fearless creatures too, just fierce predators. You know, like the owls that were outside and the roadrunner.
Sam, no. You turn it off till you get home.
Please. But you know, they're there for a reason. You know, they're showing us something. You know, I never shared mine out, and I don't even know where my phone is to do this. This is bad. This is bad. I just got caught up in my roadrunner. I named him. He's Charlie. He just reminds me of Charles. You know, I want to look at him and go, "Hey, Charles." He's adorable though.
The only Charlie I know is not adorable. I want to wring his neck most of the time.
Oh, you know my brother?
No, I know his brother.
Oh. Okay. There we go. I only have to do it once.
I do that. All right. I heard it. Okay, so I'm done with these birds. This is not happening. No.
Why not?
Next bird that comes up close enough, I'm going to wring its neck. I'm done. This is not, no. It's going to become dinner. Doves
what is it? What is this? The birds of prey, you know?
The only thing I've seen around the house is red robins, which I did not see in New Mexico. So I enjoy seeing them.
I don't miss blue jays. Blue jays are so mean. Let me tell you, that woodpecker that's hanging around though. Wilson, that's his name. Oh, Wilson and I are going to have issues. I have to name them. I have nothing else to do. We named the neighbors' horses. They didn't even have names, I think. I mean, they're now our horses. I mean, we name them, we own them, we love them, we, you know, care for them. Stockholm syndrome, you know? We tell it, you're going to love me, and this is why.
Now, we have an issue here where it's got a name, and someone else wants to name it something completely different. I got a guinea pig. His name's Mario. It's always been Mario. This damn thing's 6 years old. His name's Mario. No. He has a whole different name for it. I don't understand. He's got to be different, and it's got to stick. It's not happening. But, yeah.
It's Mario Lopez, because everybody loves
Mario. Yeah. I don't even remember what he calls it. Something the rabbit, but whatever.
It's Mario Lopez or Mario and Luigi. I mean, Mario's a good name. Mario's a strong name.
If I were going to eat it, I can't say that on the air because I'm pretty sure it's illegal to touch them. So, yeah, I don't know of anybody who's eaten one. I don't know how they taste, but I'm game.
Okay, so we are 15 minutes in. We should probably start talking about what we were going to talk about.
Yeah, let's do that.
We are going to talk about being the villain today.
Mm-hmm.
This is a role I play in almost every story. That's okay. I'm okay with the role of the villain. But what makes the villain a villain? We really have to look at that. Are they truly the villain, or are they just the person telling it as it is?
Depends on the scenario, I guess.
Okay, Adrienne, you've known me for how long? I'm pretty brutally honest.
Yeah.
It may take a while, but the things that I say come around and they do eventually happen.
So what happened that you're the villain this time?
Telling the truth. That's always what gets me to be the villain, is telling the truth. It's just the hard, brutal reality truth of a situation. It
Nobody
could
wants
be
to hear that.
it could be any situation. It could be a situation with my kids. It could be a situation, say, with a coworker. It could be a situation with my significant other. It could be a situation with my friend. But I'm very blunt. I'm very, this is the way it is.
Mhm.
Um, the examples I can give are pretty personal today because quite a few happened. We'll take we'll take a past experience. I had a conversation with somebody in my past today, and I had told him, I said, fair play from one villain to another villain, because you are the villain in one story, and I am the villain in the rest of the stories.
I'm not sure if this is good or bad here.
Oh, Adrienne, no, because Adrienne, you tell it as you see it. So how often does telling it as you see it get you in trouble? And me as an, I won't say I'm an empath. I don't know what I am. We have had this discussion. When somebody can clarify exactly what I do, please let me know. But I have the ability to see somebody for who they are, what they have been, and everything else. That's why I love them where they are now. Okay. I have no other choice, because it would drive me crazy if I didn't. But loving them now is completely where somebody needs to be loved. Let me just re-emphasize that. I don't know
Needing
how
to
I
do
would.
that and letting somebody walk all over you are two different things.
Right. So where do you draw that line, and where do you draw that limit?
Where you said, love them where they're at, leave them where they're at.
Right. But that makes you the villain. If you do it the way that you're supposed to do it, which is honest, and you're honest on why you're leaving, why it's done, if you are honest on why you have come to the conclusion, say, that you have come in this decision in life. I had to leave my children. I had to leave them where they were at. I couldn't fight with them any longer. I couldn't argue with them any longer. That was driving me insane. So you know what? I'm going to love them where they're at. And when they're ready to come talk to me, they'll come talk to me. I don't care how old they're at. If they're above a certain age, obviously, especially if they're almost adults, or they're adults, they make up their own mind.
Yeah.
And I can't be responsible for the way that they feel, and I can't be responsible for changing their mind. Only they can change their mind, and only they can be responsible for the way that they feel. And they don't like the fact that they can't truly hang anything on me or pin anything on me.
But they
Because,
will try. Whether it's lies, whether it's twisting the truth, it's something.
right, I don't like lying, and that makes me the villain. I'm brutally honest about a situation, no matter what it is, whether, like I said, it'd be with my children, whether it would be with my mother, whether it be with my husband, whether it would be with my best friend. I'm brutally honest. You want to know? I will tell you. Don't hate me for it, though.
Yeah.
Because if you don't like something that I'm saying, then maybe you need to listen to that, and maybe you need to digest that and see why it bothers you. It's not me that's bothering you about that decision, or about what I struck a chord with. It's something inside of you. So if I tell you something that's a lie, it doesn't bother you, right? But if I tell you something and it's a truth, the truth is going to hurt you more than that lie. It's easier to listen to a lie than it is the truth.
Okay, this is something that you're going to have to explain, because I know the answer to this. I know the background to this. Somebody listening would not. So we're going to veer off just a little bit and explain this.
Do I feel broken without them? Absolutely. Completely 110% broken without them. Um, we are our own people, though. We have to make our own decisions. and I can't control their decisions in the way that they feel and the way that they think. So if they want to believe something that's not true, then that's what they're going to believe. And I'm just going to love them. And by loving them,
Yeah.
it's doesn't leave me.
Right.
It's so hard to explain. I have a connection with my kids that if my kids need me, I'm there for them. I'm never going to turn my kids away ever. Never have I, never will I. But I will have my limits. They will not push me around. They will not treat me one way. They need to respect me. My kids are not my friends. They are my children.
Let's ask this of the audience, because I get so many different answers, and I have my own, but I'm going to leave that till the end, till I get on the answers. So if you had a child who raped somebody, murdered somebody, whatever the case may be, what would you do? Would you stand by them and say, oh no, they did no wrong?
Absolutely, emphatically not.
Right. And that's what I'm asking this audience. What are you going to do? Are you going to turn them in if you're the only one that knows? Are you going to help the victim? What are you going to do? Children or no children? Doesn't matter. What are you going to do? Same scenario. You have to teach your children how you want to be treated, because they're children and they're going to treat you however in the hell they want until you draw a line. You have to draw a line. You have to draw a line with your partner. You have to draw a line with your friend. You have to draw a line, period.
Right.
A line you're not going to allow to be crossed. What is your line with your partner? Is it drugs? Is it cheating? What is it?
Right.
Because
Like
you're going to draw a line with your children.
Okay, for example, any person that I'm with, use of cocaine, you're out the door. Use of meth, you're out the door. Use of heroin, you're out the door. If it is an illegal substance and you want to bring it into my house, that is a deal breaker right then and there. You are going to lose everything, because I will not have that around my children. That's just something I'm huge.
Here we go.
So do I see them since I left? I do communicate with them and I do see them. I have seen them quite a bit. Well, not as much as what one thinks. You have to understand COVID happened. So, COVID has put a stop to a lot of us parents seeing our children. And that's damaged our relationships. That's something that we've never actually truly talked about, is how COVID has affected us parents who had children long distance.
Right.
And I mean, and this is something everybody knows. I'm military, dependent. I was. We're used, I hate to say this, we're used to not seeing our spouses. We're used to not seeing our children, even if we're married, divorced, separated, whatnot. If you have a child with somebody in the military, we're used to being away from our family. Our children are conditioned for that, everything else. But when COVID happened, a lot happened. And a lot of that was when families weren't able to be with each other, it tore us apart. And those of us that were suffering already, it just drove a nail further between us.
Okay. I want to hear the answer to this. I wouldn't like that, but we love our children. I wouldn't turn my back. Okay. No, turning your back is a whole different story.
Turning your back's a whole different thing, but you have to be honest about your kid. Right. I'm sorry. I am not that parent that's going to pat my kids on the butt and tell them that they're doing a great job when they're not.
Right.
I'm sorry. If my kid is struggling to get by and not supporting this or not supporting that, whether it be grades, whether it be their family, whether it be anything, you are doing your child a dishonesty by patting them on the back and saying, you're doing a good job, buddy. No, that's wrong. You need to tell your child, hey, you know what? You are capable of better. Don't act like this. You were raised different.
Consequences are real. That's
what consequences are different. And they're different situations and scenarios. Right.
So, okay, let's say your child, 15 years old, went and molested a child of 11, 12.
Oh, I turn them in straight up. I turn my child in straight up.
They come to you and tell you, you know what? I made a mistake. I did this. I murdered this child. It was our neighbor. Okay, I'm sorry. This is not a mistake. This is permanent. That child's life's gone.
Yep.
So what are you going to do? Are you going to protect your child, or are you going to turn them in? Of course, you're not going to turn your back. You will still be there to say, you screwed up, and there's nothing I can do to help you at this point, but I will speak to you the whole time you're in prison. That's all I can do.
My child committed suicide, and even in his suicide and everything that he did wrong in life, I celebrate what he did right. And I'm proud of him. Even in his death, I am so proud of him.
He
Even if my
murdered
children
nobody.
fuck up, I'm
He
so
didn't
proud
hurt
of him.
nobody. And he committed suicide, so he did not hurt somebody.
That's
And
right.
unless somebody knows that story, which we will go into later on in some other show, he did that to save his siblings, is why he did that.
Yep. You know, so I have never turned my back on my children.
Right.
Never. But there comes a line where it becomes downright kids think that they can get away with anything. They
Right.
think that they can talk to you anyway. They think that they can treat you anyway. They think that they can lie to you no matter how you raise them. You could raise them with the best of intentions. They make their own decisions. So therefore, they're their own individuals. So therefore, past a certain age, I'm sorry, their choice, their mistake, their responsibility. I am no longer responsible for the adult that they've become. My mother is no longer responsible for the human being I am. Stay out of my life. I am my own person. I do my own thing. I will inform you of what is going on. I will let you see. You
I
know,
love this. I love this. That's me. Yes.
right. But at some point, we have to be honest about our children, and that's what makes me the villain. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. We have to be honest about the people that we're with. We have to be honest with ourselves, and we have to be honest about our limits. And that does not make us a villain. That just makes us human. That makes us.
But it will in someone's story.
That's right. Everybody has to be a villain in somebody's story. And I know I'm more than one person's villain. And I'm perfectly fine with that. Because if I've ever just spoke the truth to you, which you've ever spoke to me, that's all I've spoken to you. And I've spoke to you about yourself.
Yep.
I'm not the villain. And someday when they open up their eyes, they go, holy wow, she wasn't being mean. She was being honest. But nobody likes the honest person.
No, and that's okay.
Everybody likes the walrus.
Even us, it takes a minute when somebody wants to be honest with you. It takes a minute for you to sit back and go, you know what? I'd say the same thing if it was turned around. So,
right.
Yeah, okay.
Good morning, baby.
Hi, Abby.
Everybody give me 1 second. I got to deal with a gorgeous little lady who just woke up.
Oh, that may not be so much fun. This little girl's been sick. So, yeah, that's not going to be so much fun. But being the villain in somebody's story, we're all going to be. It's going to happen. Whether it's our children, whether it's going to be a friend, an ex-friend, because that's what's going to happen. Most of the time, somebody's not going to take reality. It's going to happen, and that's okay. I don't mind. You're going to get hurt because they're going to spread garbage. And people that know you, okay, they're going to take that garbage and they're going to say, that's not what happened. People that don't know you, there's nothing you can do about it. They can either learn who you are or just take that as it is and move on, because they're not going to play a part in your life.
I don't have to be anybody's friend. You know, actually I talked to somebody who is probably watching right now. And I've said this to everybody. I may not be your shade of lipstick, but I could be somebody else's shade of lipstick. You may not be my shade of lipstick, but you might look good on somebody else. You can be somebody else's friend and you cannot hold that against them. You can be honest and tactful, which is something I try to be. But bottom line is I'm not supposed to be my children's friend. I'm a teacher.
Right.
That is what we are set upon this earth to do if we have children, is to teach and to guide. And to teach and to guide, if teacher just gave you an A without you doing the work, then what would you learn?
That's it.
So if I'm going to sit here and allow my children or anybody to talk to me the way that they've talked to me and to hold things against me that I don't even hold against them, or to hold on to the past and not move forward, I just have to love them where they're at. And if I'm the villain in their story, then that's okay.
Yeah.
Not everybody is meant to be a hero in that moment. And it may not be until after that person's passed or moments have passed or something happens
Mhm.
that you come to open up your eyes and realize that that person never meant you harm. They just meant to help you. And that's a struggle that most don't understand with people who are brutally honest. And I call myself more a realist than anything else. I'm just realistic about the situation. These are the facts. This is what's going on. This is the consequence, and this is how it's dealt. There's no, it's black or white. There's no writing or gray with me. Which is funny because I'm gray in everything else in my aspect. I'm gray in everything else in the way that I look at things. But when it comes to treating me a certain way, it is black or white. You cannot ride the middle.
Right. That's exactly it.
It's morals.
That's the word.
That's right. And I've instilled in my kids morals. And they have those morals. And I see those morals. Just because I may not see eye to eye with my kids doesn't mean that they are not phenomenal people. I am so, so beyond proud of my children.
Nate, how old was he when I met him? 7? 8?
Yeah. Something like that.
This little boy, we had a big function going on at the bar. Okay, let me back up with the bar.
It's fine.
It's not like we were at
family
a
business.
But this kid, we had a paracon going on. This kid, he's looking at all the girls. And 7 or 8 years old, mind you. And he picks one. I like her. He goes over, spends the whole time with her. Now, mind you, not one time is this boy rude. Not one time is he like most kids do and have to pick and make somebody hate him to like him, like grade school kids. He did not do that. This kid was like, I like her. And he was open with that. I like her. And when somebody'd ask him about it, he'd turn red and put his head down. But he treated this woman with the utmost respect the whole time he was there, which he did everybody, but he showed her extra respect. He got her food for her. He went and got a drink for her. He
held open doors.
Yeah. He was just, he's unreal. This kid. He's much older than in his mind than he really is. And he still is today.
Yeah, but all of my boys are that way.
That's the people around him that have shown him this. This is constant. Look, this is how it is. This is how it's supposed to be. It's not. You see that guy over there beating that woman? He's an idiot and walk off. No, you talk about that. This is how it's not supposed to be. This is not how we act. You discuss these things no matter how old they are on their level. You discuss it. A lot of people don't do that. So what they see is what they do. That's
right.
Just the way it is.
And, with my boys, I'm not ever saying that I don't love them because I love them more than the air I breathe. And I feel that every day, their energy, and I send them my love. And we have a different way of communicating, I do believe.
Okay.
My boys will come back.
To tell the story. You have to tell the story.
Which one?
Of Dylan ice skating.
Oh man, the song "Antidote" was playing. I'll never forget this. All of a sudden, I'm sitting in this. We called it my woman cave, and we had an ice skating ring on top of my barn, and in the loft. They were ice skating out there, and I was doing some work, and all of a sudden the song Antidote started playing in my head. Now there's no way I would have been able to hear this song, okay? And all of a sudden my head hurt. I got really cold and I could see everything around me, and I was like, oh man, Dylan just really hurt himself. He just smashed his head really bad. I mean, my nose was vibrating. I could just feel, I could just feel the pain. Few minutes later, sure enough, here comes the kids coming right down, and they come and they get me, and they're like, Mom, Dylan hit his head really bad. The person that I was sitting with looked at me and went, no way. He turned around, looked at everybody, went, was the music playing? And Pat, my son, goes, yeah. And this guy goes, what song was playing? And Pat goes, Antidote. And the guy looked at me like, how in the world? How in the world? So I have a connection with my kids. That's very different. I communicate
that way.
with kids, and I'm very proud of them, and I love them, and they're outstanding human beings. Derek is just the sweetest kid on the face of the earth. Young man. He's not a kid anymore. He's just the sweetest young man. He is the brightest young man. He has a great future ahead of him. My oldest, I am beyond proud of him. He just had his second child. He's a great father. He's a strong provider. He will work and work and work. He supports his spouse, so I'm not disappointed in my children whatsoever. They are the light in my life, and I miss having them around, yes, but it's no different than when we grow up and we move away from our parents and we want our own lives. Mm-hmm. And, my children are still growing up, just as I was when I was their age raising them. So I need to still let them make their mistakes and learn their lessons. And I still need to be a teacher and a guiding force. No matter what age you are, you always look to your parents for support and guidance. And if I cannot say that I am living the life that I preach about, then I look like a hypocrite to them. So I try very hard to live what I preach. I've really been trying the past couple of years to really clean up and take my own advice and swallow it down and eat it. And you know what? It's done me wonders. A lot of people have left my life. And I can honestly say it's not that I don't care. I'm happy for them. Cut those strings, fly, go do what you want. I don't want to hold anybody back from their own life. And that includes if I'm with somebody and they don't want to be with me anymore, let me know if I'm not the solution. I'm not going to hold you back. I will love you as you're flying out that door, and I will be your greatest support in life. I've never tried to be the villain, but unfortunately, most people think that it has to end bad for when it ends. Nobody can. When you're done, we were just talking about this. When you're done with somebody, why is it has to be bad? Why can't you just step aside, walk away?
I think it's because you need a reason to be angry so that you're not so hurt.
You know what? We did that in the military. We would get mad at our dads, our moms, our spouses, and it was easier to be mad at them than it was to miss them.
It is. Hi, baby. Hi, Abby.
Hi to everybody.
Hey, sweetheart.
It's going to be one of those days where you guys just get to look at her. She wants
What
to
you doing, baby? You're okay. Yeah, you're good. You're just tired.
She's tired. She just ate.
You look a lot better.
By the way, happy belated Mother's Day. I mean, I told you happy Mother's Day yesterday. We talk on a daily basis, but happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. I love that meme. What is it? Happy, Mother's Day, Mom Day, Mama Day, eventually just Dude Day. Happy Dude Day to everybody.
What did you say?
Mommy, I took out Nate wake.
You're not big enough for me to understand you, baby.
She is so tired.
She needs
Light
all the sleep
my life.
she can get.
Oh, she's perfect. She's so rotten.
Yeah, for a little while till she is able to talk back to you.
She told me whatever.
Yeah. A little worse than that. It's going to get there.
Oh no, it was pretty bad. I'm doing the like family friendly version of whatever that she told me. But I was basically told to go get bent
Oh, jeez. I'm not surprised.
at 4 years old, and it was like, okay, Avelina, I guess it's time to go, to the corner.
We're
Hi, honey.
going to have a discussion about what this means.
All right, you guys, I'll be right back. I'm going to give her some cartoons.
Oh, yeah, that would be a great idea. This little girl, she's been sick for a little while. If you've ever been in New Mexico, the winds are blowing 75 miles an hour right now. If you have allergies, it's not about to get better. Not for a while. There's seasons. We have, you know, winter, summer, spring, fall. Yeah, no. New Mexico has winter, summer, wind, fall. The whole season of wind. Anybody with allergies is very, very sick and not very happy right now. Kimberly, hi.
Wind, it hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
We are so dry right now. Last year, this time we were flooding out, and now there is just no water. We're already at 90 some degrees. We are dry, 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 dry. It feels like the Dust Bowl.
We have not hit 80, I don't think. Maybe
Oh, rub it
82.
in. Rub it in.
But I'm okay with that. I'm good with that. But we have had the wind, and I'm not good with that.
So, Adrienne, when have you ever been a villain?
Which story? Actually, this is kind of the other side of it. Some of you know this, some don't. Kimberly, we're good. How are you? My kids, we're going to talk about kids and relationships and how brutally, things do happen. It's not this perfect. Yes, I raised my kids. No, it's not. Two of my girls were actually taken at a very young age. I let them go with their grandma, not my mother, his mother, after our divorce because we were getting ready to move. She said, "Let me take him for a week. Let me just keep him." Sure. I wasn't going to keep them away from their grandparents. Sure. Have at it. I'll bring him back this weekend. Great. Weekend came and gone. Never brought him back. Now, mind you, I'm in my 20s, early 20s, had no car, no way to go get him. And I was working, I believe at that time, like Pizza Hut, something silly. Yeah, I wasn't going to go get him. That was my only job supporting these kids. I waited till my day off, went down there, knocked on the door about 11 o'clock at night with the sheriff. And they said, "She says that she has a custody agreement with him." I said, "What? Excuse me? Don't they have to notify me?" He's like, "You need to go to the courts in the morning." I have to be at work in the morning. If not, I don't have a job. So a week later, I find out she went the next day. The sheriffs did not check to see if she really had that order. She didn't. I could have gotten him that night. Well, for the next 6 years, they moved around. I couldn't find him. I was paying child support, mind you, but they couldn't find him. The court said, "Yeah, the baby wasn't old enough, so let's let the grandma dictate when they get to go home because the baby didn't know her." Okay, got it. Yeah, no. They moved all around the country for the next 6 years. My daughter was finally old enough to find me on MySpace, I believe is what it was. And I went to go see him. And by that time, the youngest that was taken at 2 months old, she had no idea who I was. She was told I was a drug addict, a lot lizard, if anybody knows what that is, because I worked at Phillips 66 on the Turnpike. I did work graveyards in the building, not outside of it. But
Yeah, I give you credit. That's a rough job.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved the truckers. They would keep you safe. They
Oh
killed me.
yeah. It's just the other people going through.
Yeah, but those truckers would keep me safe no matter what. And I'm like, okay. So when I finally found him, the little girl, the youngest, she was 6, and she says, Nanny said you were a lot lizard. She's, what? What'd you just say? She said, what is that? I don't know. I have no idea. Why don't you have Nanny explain that to you? Because I don't know. So I took him to work with me, showed him what I do. Well, fast forward. When they're grown, the youngest didn't know me that well. She still thought that's what I was, and a drug addict and whatever else. It has taken until now. She is now 24. 23, sorry. To figure out that's not what I was. And I will never have her hate her grandma, but she's seeing reality. So, things do happen out of people's control. And until you let them come back around, there's nothing you can do about it. The oldest, we've always been close. She knew. She remembered what happened. So, some people's story isn't what you think it is.
Right. And I've had far from the perfect life. I've had far from the perfect experience of raising children. And, far from what I ever wanted. My dreams with raising my children did not come true whatsoever, and they're still not coming true. I'm just making the best out of what I've been dealt with. You hand me a deck of cards and you've already had them shuffled, and you tell me to lay out the cards, and I take my cards. I got to make it work. I don't have an extra card up my sleeve. So, you work with what you're handed. And I got asked today if I would do things different. Wholeheartedly do things different. And I think that the person was surprised. And it was my ex-husband. I'll be very honest with it. I think my ex-husband was very surprised when I said no. No. No, because when I started becoming the villain and I started telling the truth and I really started living by what I believed instead of sugarcoating everything and trying to people please and to make everybody happy, I was only making myself miserable. And I can't love somebody unless I love myself. So me being able to love myself now, knowing who I am, knowing what I know, going through what I've been through, it was never going to change. The situation was still going to end up tragic no matter what avenue I took with anything.
Right.
And being realistic about that.
Yep.
That's where I'm a realist. I have to look at the fact of my life and say, no, there's nothing that I would change. I would never, ever change anything about my life. Yeah. Do I regret some choices that I made? Yeah, maybe. No, no, actually I don't. I don't regret any choice that I've made because the choices that I've made have led me to be the person that I am today. And I've made a lot of mistakes. I am not somebody that should be held up as a poster child of perfection. I'm not. I've had my bout with drugs. I've had my bouts with affairs. I've had my bouts with anger issues. I have my own addictions that aren't going to hurt anybody that I deal with on a day-to-day basis, on top of, a lot of post-traumatic. But I can sit down and I can honestly say for the first time in my life, I've overcome everything. Mm-hmm. And, to those who I am the villain, I hope that someday when I am gone or someday soon, when you look back, you can see that I was the villain because I had to survive. Mm-hmm. And if you weren't fit to survive with me, then you weren't fit to survive with me. And it's not that I loved you any less. And it's not that I love you anymore. I'm just going to love you where you need to be loved. And that's okay. And that's just who I am. Yeah. And if that means I have to leave you behind or you don't want to come with, I wish you the utmost blessing. And wherever you go, I wish you the best of luck. Just don't hurt me while you do it. Just don't drag me down. Say thank you for being a blessing in my life. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for being the most wonderful person I could have ever asked for. And realize that it does hurt me when people walk out of my lives, when their time with me is done, whether it be with my children. And people do tend to come back around. Oh, yeah. That's the other thing. That's the moral to all of this is, the right ones come back around. They come back to you. They tend to understand where you come from. I don't know how many kids I've had say, you know what, you were absolutely right.
Yep.
You were absolutely right about my relationship. You were absolutely right about this situation. You were absolutely right about that. And you said it because you love me. And because I love them, they're able to say that to me because that door's never shut. That's the beauty of
tell a child. You can't tell a kid. You can't.
No, that'd be ridiculous. That's where I'm not cruel.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with other people, I can be. If you've crossed the line over and over and over again, I could definitely just no. I can walk by you and pretend like somebody asked me. Somebody had made a statement that I can start loving somebody and I can stop loving them just as fast. Yeah, you cross the line with me, it's done.
Mm-hmm.
I'll cut right there. I have no problem because my sanity is worth more than anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so is truth.
Right. Truth.
Truth is going to hurt. I mean, there's a reason that's a saying. Truth hurts. Yes, of course it does. Because nobody wants to hear it. They've made up their own little story in their own little mind, their fairy tale. We all have.
Right. We've all done it. I've done it. I've lied to myself. I've lied to other people. I've said, this and this, this and this. But you know what? Enough's enough. I got to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm done. And that's that sugarcoating.
Yep.
Okay. That's that sugarcoat lie.
Sugarcoating.
That's a lie by omission. See, I hate lying by omission. If I dislike anything, it's lying by omission. Or when I turn around and I look at you and I ask you a direct question, if I'm already asking you the question, I already know the answer. I am a typical woman like that. I already know. Yeah. So if you lie to me, I already know. Not only that, I can tell that you're lying. The way that you hold your breath, the way that you look away from me, the way that you do this, the way that you do that. I study human behavior. I have done that my whole entire life.
Yeah.
I know it's not just the energy. You start to sweat. You start to, you smell different when you lie. And people think I'm crazy, but it's true. You do. And when you study humans and you study behavior and you truly know somebody, they can't ever lie to you. And it's easier for people to lie. So it's easier to believe a lie than it is to believe a truth. It's easier for people to lie nowadays because they can just hide it, or they don't feel there's no repercussions. There's, I'm so sorry. We're such a forgiving world. We can be forgiving, but you don't have to forget. And nor do you have to let them do it again and again and again and again and again and again and again. It's a repetitive abuse towards yourself. You're not doing anything but abusing yourself by allowing that person to abuse you because you don't love yourself, and you need to love yourself because you're worth it.
Yep. And, honestly, they're either going to believe you, they're not. It doesn't matter. If they're mad about it, they probably did something. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing we can do about that. That's not on us. It's
not on me. My hands are clean. You messed up. My hands are clean. I call you out on it. I tell you the truth. I show you the truth, and you call me a villain. Well, you know what, baby? I'll be your villain, because the villain is always the one that is the realistic one in the situation. The villain is always the one to see it as it is. The villain, I've always said this, we can look through history, and a lot of times in moments of great triumph and change, we see a villain. It isn't until later that we see that the person wasn't a villain. They saw the bigger picture. And I'm always the person to see the bigger picture, because I just don't see how it affects me. I see how it affects everyone. Yeah. Because I see energy. And maybe that's my problem. It's because I see energy and I see the way it connects with everybody. And I know if you make this decision, this is how it's going to affect, this is how it's going to roll. And this is the decision you're heavily leaning on, because I can literally see it. and I can see the future repercussions of that all the way down. And if you don't like me saying that to you, then maybe you should think about the decision and the choice that you're about ready to make. Because if you don't like what I'm telling you this for a reason. And if you don't want to know, don't ask. Don't be my friend. Don't be my acquaintance. Don't. Because, I mean, Adrienne, I'm the same way with you.
Oh, yeah. And I don't expect anything less.
No. And I expect you to be the same way.
Yeah. Hi, guys. Yeah.
Hey, everyone. Hi, Rosie. That's my chick. That's my chick.
It's
Adrienne,
not for the weak. It is not, true friendship is not, it's not for somebody who doesn't want to hear the truth or gets butthurt about the truth. Or, sure, you might get hurt for a minute and you step back before you say anything hurtful or hateful or retaliate in any way. And you're like, okay, wait a minute. And you may not realize that that's the truth for a minute, but you go back and you say, okay, what made you say that?
You stop.
Yeah.
You listen, you analyze, you learn, you apply.
And you ask questions. Somewhere, if you don't understand that, you ask, why did you say that?
Yeah. Right.
You know, and if somebody has enough, if somebody loves you enough, they're going to answer why you said that. And the other person's going to take it, or they're going to be like, okay, whoa. That's true, but that's not how I intended this. Let's do this.
We had a moment this morning because I was highly emotional.
Mm-hmm.
And because of my post-traumatic, I have a high defensive manner. Mm-hmm. But I took a step back, I took a breather, and I explained to you, which it's hard for me to put into words how I feel, which is weird because I'm a writer. But when it comes to something that I have to open up about, and I shared that with you, and you just went, okay. Yeah. All right, I get it now because I understand where you're coming from. Like, okay, I get where you were coming from with this, and I get this. And okay, it's Janice. She's being over dramatic. She's being emotional right now. She'll get over it and she'll get real. Yeah, I'll always get emotional. I'm a woman. Okay, I'm proud to be a woman. I don't anybody says I will lead with my emotions, but I will take a step back. Yeah. And before I truly act upon something, I'll take a deep breath. I will analyze the situation. I will get real. Yep. And then I will approach it.
Yeah. There is not one of us. I don't care what we do with energy, what we do with empath, what we do with psychic abilities. We cannot predict our own future. We cannot predict somebody else's future. We cannot do that. I don't care who says they can't. They cannot. So all we can do is say, I can almost see this happening. If you do this and this, let's look at these repercussions that could happen. Mm-hmm. Another person says, okay, but I can see these repercussions happening. And the reason that everybody sees something different is because everybody knows a different part of the story.
That's right.
So you take everybody's part of the story and go, you know what? That could happen, except this person doesn't know that this happened. So if they knew, what would they say?
You know, it's like this. I'm a wallflower. I really don't put myself out there. I watch people. I listen. Most people don't know how to approach me. They don't know how to handle me. I'm either a like it or a leave it. There is no in between. And I'm okay with that for the most part. I mean, give me a try, guys. I'm not that bad of a person.
Really how about just get real? Be realistic. Don't lie. Don't be an idiot. Right. That's as easy as it gets.
But watching people and learning people and understanding people is an art. I have to brag for a minute. It really is. And I learned this art growing up. You can sit down as an energy worker and empath like I do and say, okay, if you continue on this path, these are the repercussions. You know, you can honestly see that, and you can honestly say that. anytime we do a tarot card reading, we're not telling you that it's set in stone. We're telling you that this is what the cards are saying. This is what the energy
Right
is
now, on this
right
path
now
you're on.
in this moment.
Now,
You know,
you
that's
may think something different and go, you know what, I'm just going to take this little detour and come right back to this road. But when you take that little detour, everything changes.
Right. Right. And I believe it's a disservice to anybody if they're going to be close to me and they want to be in my circle and my energy path. I think it's a disservice to lie to anybody.
That's it.
I think it's a disservice to lead them in any other direction.
Yeah.
And I will say that I'm not too cocky, but most of the time, the way that the situation ends is the way that the situation ends. Is the way that I see it ending. Because I see other things that people tend not to see. And that's not just with energy, that's just with behavior, period. So, I mean, the world needs to be really observant on who they are, because I observe myself in the way that I act around certain people. And I observe the way that they act around me. And I'm what they call a mirror reflection. If you don't like me,
Yep.
because you don't like something about yourself. So
Yep.
anybody who's watching this show, and I can probably name about 40 people that will go through this show, the reason why they don't like me is because they don't like that part about themselves and they haven't gotten real with themselves. And 9 times out of 10, that's the case with everybody.
It is. And I've noticed myself being a mirror reflection of someone. And it took me a long time to figure out I'm not trying to be like them. It just comes naturally. And and this is going to sound terrible, but you go around somebody who speaks slang, bubonics, Southern, whatever the case may be, the accent, whether you realize it or not, you're going to mimic that to a point. You may not sound like, every sentence, but you are going to mimic that to a point. There's a reason for that. It happens.
We do that with energy. We should learn something and pick up something from everybody. But what we pick up and what we learn, we should be wise and be choosy with. If it's something negative, we need to file it in our banks and realize that we just don't want to go down that path. It's a clear case of, okay, one child is an alcoholic and one child is clean and sober, never touched a drug, but they both came from the same parent.
Same thing.
Why? Because one learned a lesson, the other one learned another lesson. It's about perspective and what is learned.
I just realized it's 7:03.
Oh man.
So, guys, as much as we would love to sit and talk to you for the rest of the night, there's another show behind us. So
yeah, who's up behind us?
I am not sure at this moment because I don't have my paper in here. This is his office and not mine.
This is the only show I know about besides Jen's and Michael's and Rosie's, and that's it.
And I should know, and I do not.
Ghost Box. Who, I mean, I can promote everybody, but I'll let them do the promoting, and we'll let you guys get to watching them. And we love you guys where you're at.
That's right. Good night, y'all. Thank you.
Good night. We'll see you next week.
Bye.